When we want to manifest something new in our lives, we need to assume we are the person already who has manifested that thing. And why is that? Hi, my name is Leah Chantel. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm talking about assuming the identity of being that person who already has the thing that they desire. What kind of quality traits does the person have? Who are they? What is their world like? And when you decide that you're going to step into the identity of the person who already has the thing manifested, that's when you become very close to that reality and it potentially bumps into you and steps into your life. And how does this work? Well, we all have a higher self on the other side, and it's also called a realized self, and that version of ourselves already has everything that they want or ever could need. They have the perfect life in spirit, they have the perfect possessions, they have the perfect wardrobe, the perfect body, or whatever it is your ideal version of reality. And I don't really like the word perfect, but I'm just using it as a metaphor here. But we have a higher version of ourselves on the other side who already knows how to manifest things and already has everything figured out. And so if we learn how to connect to that version of ourselves, that's when we have the best chance of connecting that desired reality into our physical reality. And it's our focus and our pursuit of that keeps us out of trouble too. So the reasons why we get into trouble sometimes in life is because we're just too distracted. We're chasing after things that are not our authentic desires, that are just the desires placed on us by society. We're trying to fit in with the group. We're trying to seek approval from other people or survive day to day. And there's nothing wrong with these things, but when your life is filled with these sorts of pursuits and not our authentic pursuits of our authentic selves, then that's when we sort of lose our way. That's when we sort of get into the collective thinking that, hey, it's okay for me to drink or do drugs. And very small amounts, like, you'll survive. You probably won't affect you too much. But if you dive too deep into those kinds of distractions in your life, that's when you get into a lot of trouble. And that's why manifesting and following your authentic self, your realized self, and chasing big goals can be so important, because it puts your focus and your energy into something productive. So it's not just some fantasy life or some flight of fancy that manifesting is all about, really living a life that's not real. It's about putting your time and energy into things that are really important to you and pursuing them because you know it's going to give you and those around you a better quality of life. And so how do we connect with that realized self in order to bring the reality we're looking for into existence? Well, you can do that in many ways. Meditation is very popular, and yoga can help prepare you and help exhaust your body a little bit so you're willing to sit a little bit more still in meditation when you're already a little bit physically tired. Having said that, the process of meditation itself, you're not really supposed to be thinking about anything. But having said that, you can have a practice after you finish meditation where you ask your realized self a really deep question, and it has to be an authentic question. If you're saying, how do I get Johnny Smith to love me, in your question to your realized self, that's not a very authentic question. Your realized self is not going to give you a good answer for that, because you can't really manipulate anybody into loving you. And that's one of the laws of the universe. You can't force people to do things that you want to do, like your minions, right? But if you work in alignment with the laws of the universe to get what you want, let's say, for example, you ask a different question. You say, you know, I have a crush on Johnny Smith. Is he the best partner for me, or should I be looking somewhere else to find the right partner for me? When you ask a broader question like that, then the universe has a bigger place to step in and give you some real guidance on where to go to look for your ideal partner, right? And they may give you a yes or a no on a person. But if you're asking from a controlling place, that's when you're not going to get the right answers. You're not going to get the right guidance to move in the right direction. And I'm using the word right in air quotes here. It's really more about having an authentic, real life rather than a right life, you know? So when we assume we are already our realized self and that we're just trying to establish a means of communication with that self in order to get real strong guidance and wisdom in our day-to-day matters so that we can manifest the things that we want into our lives. That's when we're closer to pulling our beautiful reality into our lives and we're able to create beautiful, amazing lives. And even if you run into difficulty, like this sort of life doesn't guarantee that you won't have any difficulty, but if you do run into difficulty, what it will do is will help propel you to deepen that relationship with your authentic self and go another level deeper into your wisdom. Like, how can I really deal with this challenge in my life? Like, how do I deal with the challenge of moving, for example? How do I deal with the challenge of finding affordable housing? How do I deal with the challenge of finding jobs or businesses that are really fulfilling and don't zap my time and energy in unproductive ways? How do I plan to find the right life partner for me who's really going to complement my skills and my efforts in life and who's going to support me when I need help? Then our authentic self can step in and really help us when we ask the right questions. And the same goes with manifesting. When we're trying to manifest something, we have to pick a target that is in alignment with our realized self. If we pick something that we're trying to control, then it's not going to work. Let's say I'm trying to manifest a book that's published with Random House. I'm not saying that's impossible, but when you're focusing it like that and you're trying to be controlling and force the publisher to work with you in order for you to attain your success, you're kind of depending on them and hooking your outcome on them cooperating. And that's not what you really want to do. You want to be independent of the publishing house and find your success in a way that's more broad, that's more guided, and allows you to be more independent and responsible for yourself rather than dependent on another entity in order to create your success. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They're depending on the government, or they're depending on their parents, or they're depending on their university or their college for their success. And then when their success doesn't go right, then they blame the parent, or they blame the university, or they blame the government, or whoever it is to blame because it's very convenient. But really, it was that person who hooked their success on somebody else who is responsible for their outcome. Ultimately, at the end of our lives, we're all responsible for our own success. And people don't like to hear that because it's like, well, what if I've had a really difficult life? What if I'm homeless? What if I have a drug addiction? What if I have a really traumatic relationship with my family and they told me I couldn't do it? The thing is, so when these difficult things happen, to a certain extent, I think we all either have hard or harder lives. So nobody really has it easy, but there are some people who have it extra hard, right? And at the end of the day, we all have to figure it out. And then when we do figure it out, the next thing we do, because we know that there are other people around us suffering and having hard lives, we figure out the best way that we can contribute to others that allows us to share our skill sets and our unique gifts and really genuinely helps and serves another person. So when we contribute beyond ourselves, that's really the key to meaning in our lives. So if we frame our manifestations that way, that yes, I'm trying to improve my life, I'm trying to get a house, but I'm also trying to improve the quality of my life for my family as well, because they need a better house. When you're doing it for more people and you're trying to build meaning into your life, that's when you have a chance of going beyond your goals, when you're serving somebody else and not only yourself. And it's okay to serve yourself, actually. You're part of the boat, you're steering the ship, so you should be served. But when you have that desire to help other people and grow and serve everybody, that's when you've got the best chance of really expanding your influence and really doing positive things in the world. I was watching this influencer recently, and it was very interesting. Her influence in the world was to make fun of everybody. Like, she was a comedian, but she would put people down sometimes that were doing good things in the world. Like, for example, vegetarians, it's like, oh, let's make fun of them. Let's send dead animals to them and see how sickly they are and stuff. And it was interesting. As a vegetarian, I was watching and I'm thinking, you know, she doesn't understand all the health benefits of vegetarianism and how it helps certain people. And I'll be the first to say, like, there could be others who really need a meat-based diet, and I'm not going to make any of the meat eaters wrong. Like, it really depends on who you are and what your needs are, but we're all in the same boat. We should all help each other. We should not really make fun of each other, and that's not the kind of legacy that I'd want to be remembered for on the internet. I want to be remembered as somebody who is serving other people, right, and uplifting other people, rather than making fun of people. Even if it does allow me to go viral and become more popular, that's not the way I want to build my influence in the world. And so what I learned from that is that success by itself is a little bit empty. You have to figure out how you're actually serving other people. And it's not just about going viral, because what's the point if you're just making fun of people and kind of bullying people and you go viral? Like, there are people out there like that, but they're not really serving or contributing to the world. Why not have a positive influence on people and try to help them in their lives instead, right? That's the better way to build your influence in the world. That's the better way to manifest. And that's not to say that some people don't manifest selfishly sometimes. Sometimes people do get ahead and they're very ambitious and only concerned about themselves. It does happen sometimes in the world. Having said that, it's just not the best way to manifest. And sometimes people see those influences and they think that that's the best way, and then it actually holds them back. It's actually not a good influence in the world. So we want to manifest by helping others and by being respectful and loving towards others, rather than making fun of them or putting them down. We're all flowers in a garden, and we can all celebrate each other and lift each other up. We don't have to judge each other because we're different. Instead, we just appreciate each other for each other's beauty. I hope that makes sense, and I hope you're all having an amazing week. And if you have any comments about what you're trying to manifest and how you're looking after your relationship with yourself and assuming the best for yourself, I'd be curious to know about it in the comments below. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're enjoying my content, and I can't wait to see you next week. Take care. Bye now.